Oh, have you seen Grimgar Fantasy and Ash?
Yes!
That's a great anime.
Oh! I
So good.
actually... Okay, I went to an anime convention. I'm gonna send you a picture right now. I still have to order a frame for it. Bam! There you go, look at that.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh, dude, that's awesome.
It's so sweet.
I want them to do a season 2, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I don't know, but we'll talk about that some other time. We're gonna jump into the podcast here.
Okay, fine.
You're good to go, Pixel? All right. No, that's no problem.
Get out, roommates.
I mean, we were the ones that were still talking about other things, not podcast related. So tell them to bring me some nachos. Oh, that's not as exciting.
Wait, do they have school pizza like elementary school pizza? Or even high school pizza? You know, the rectangle shaped pizza? Ugh, damn it. Those are the best pizzas ever. Oh, it's not
Oh wow.
about the cut I'm referring to. I'm just trying to give you an example of what it looks like. But high school pizza, it's a weird style of pizza, but it's so freaking good. And I've looked it up online, and you can only buy them by the crates, and it's like $400. You don't understand. It's great.
It was okay.
We had different high school pizza then.
Well, you had $400 high school pizza. By the sounds of it, we didn't.
No, that's how you get a crate full. Like I'm telling you, like because what happens is it's cut up and the pizzas are legitimately like 3 feet wide by 3 feet long, and they're cooked in a giant oven, and then they cut them up. That's how they make those big rectangles. They're freaking huge. I would cut it up. Duh.
Yeah, but it's frozen. How do you cut a frozen thing without breaking it?
You let it fall very slightly, and then you cut it.
See, but then it... That sounds gross. You're just making this image of this pizza just look worse and worse.
Yeah, I don't care. It's good to me. That's all that matters.
Well, welcome to the Game Podcast. That's the Geek blah, blah, blah.
You want to try that again, Spen?
That's the Geeks Actively Making Entertainment podcast, where us, a bunch of gamers and geeks, get together to make things for your entertainment. And I'm joined here by two of my favorite people on the Discord channel. I've got Mr. Zio. How's it going, Zio?
It's going great, Spen. How are you?
I am fantastic. And we have... Hello, Pixel. It's the first time you've been here. Well, welcome. We are pumped and excited. Except for Zio. He was saying some pretty mean things before you got here, so I'm glad that he's toned it down a bit. He's gotten a little bit more responsible, so...
Little did you know.
So, Pixel, you're new to the podcast, so why don't we throw you under the fire? And well, I'll ask you the first question. What games have you been playing this week? Nice. Beholder 2. Oh, okay. So in this game... Oh, sorry, what was that? Oh, okay. That is pretty sweet sounding. Have, this game, is it like a side cutout of a, like a hotel or a, like a, not a hotel, yeah. Okay. And that one was kind of fairly dark colors, like a very neutral palette. Okay, sweet. And I didn't know there was a second one. And that's Beholder, correct? Ooh, I'm writing that one down. Really? I do have it. Nice. And I should have access to the second one? Oh, maybe. Cause, cause I purchased mine over a year ago. I must have gotten it in like a humble bundle. That's my guess.
Are you putting
Okay.
it on your channel?
Uh, oh, that's right, because you do a lot of itch.io games.
That's not a Telltale game, though.
It's kind of a style similar to it.
Yeah.
You know what the great thing about itch.io is? When you're looking to play a game, that's the best website to help scratch the itch. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, we got Pun Neo back.
The more you say it, the less I hate that.
See? Because
It
it's
doesn't.
actually a really good joke. It just takes a while to warm up to you.
I wouldn't say it's a good one. It's kind of like how if you eat enough spicy food, eventually you get used to the spices and it becomes less and less spicy.
And then you learn to love it.
Yeah. But that's awesome. Beholder, and I didn't know there was a second one. I even forgot the first one existed. Oh, well, that one I will be taking a look at. So thank you. And, Mr. Zio,
Mr. Spen.
what games have you been playing this week besides Spider-Man?
Well, that's not fair.
You talked about it a good chunk of last podcast, so you can
Right,
stick.
but I hadn't played it yet. And
I thought you had played it last podcast.
did I? Maybe I did. Yeah, I did. No, I mean I've been
Yeah,
playing
you
more
had
of
to have,
that.
because you said that if it wasn't for the podcast was going to be the first break that you took from playing it.
Oh, that's right. You're welcome again.
Hey, no problem.
No, so I played a little more of that, but I've also been playing a few games like The Escapist 2 and Amnesia recently.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, weird.
Coincidentally.
I haven't heard of either of those games.
I know. What a weird coincidence. But immediately after this podcast, I will be playing the Black Ops 4 Battle Royale beta.
Nice. Are you excited?
I am cautiously optimistic.
Watch out for team killers. That's what I've heard.
Okay, I'm gonna be playing solo, so
Well, isn't that the one where you come in as in a team?
nope. Solo, I'm pretty sure is solo.
Which is the one where you can do a team? Is that in the
would
Black
be
Ops
that
1
would be
team?
like the team version, maybe like four.
Oh, I don't know.
Like a team of four. Yeah,
Well, there's a
there's
new-
solo, duos, and quads.
Oh, that's what it is then. Because I know in the game, I don't know if they've fixed it yet, but there were a lot of issues people saying with jumping in as a team. Like your own teammate could just kill you and then take all the stuff on you.
Oh,
And so there was a lot of issues with team killing.
I would literally only ever play teams with people I know, and I would probably be the one killing them. So I mean, I don't think I'd have much to worry about.
So what brought this game on, though?
Well, one of my fans wanted me to play the beta on the PS4 when it came out like a week or two ago. And I was like,
But you
yeah, I'll
let him
totally
down,
do
didn't
it. Yeah, and I forgot. So I'm going to do it on PC a week late, just for them.
Oh. Well, that's still nice of you.
And so anybody listening to this podcast immediately, oh no, by the time this posts, I would have already posted mine too. I'm going to be recording it tonight and posting it tonight, so.
Oh, nice. You have a nice busy schedule for you then.
Yeah, I have deadlines, and I've been lazy.
Well, that works for me, because then there's no reason for us to continue playing Amnesia tonight, so I have a night off.
I didn't say I can't continue playing tonight. I would just have to record my video first.
No, that's a lot. You got to do a lot of editing. So, I want you to take the time, focus on that.
Minimal focus, like 15 minutes.
Well, there, you've heard it, folks. That's the kind of effort Zio puts into his videos.
Well, every game's different.
What do you mean every game's different?
Oh, every game determines on, like, depending on the style of game and everything, determines on how much editing I do.
Does it now?
Yeah. Often,
You should put the same amount of effort into everything to show how much you truly care.
it's not about the effort, it's just about how much needed editing. Like, when I play my horror games, a lot of horror games are often, pretty straightforward story, narrative, go down this hallway style game. So, I do a lot of babbling and singing when I play horror, so it's a lot easier to edit around my audio. As when I play other games, I tend to play for like 45, 50 minutes at a time, and then I just find the best parts. So when a 15-minute, 20-minute horror game compared to an hour worth of gameplay on any other game, it's less to edit.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I'll give you that one. You don't edit your videos that way anymore?
Like yours truly.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm flattered, Pixel. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
Call me Kevin. I haven't heard of that.
I've been called Kevin once.
Hey, wait a minute. Zio, isn't Kevin the name of your dead rat?
No, that was Larry.
Oh, Larry, right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You'll find out soon enough.
Quick, Zio, we must escape from this conversation.
Well, at least
So-
I'm really happy you got the reference, at least. I love the Three Stooges.
So every once in a while, Nintendo likes to put out one of its direct videos and release a little bit of information about what's going on. And did you see the ports that are coming to the Nintendo Switch?
No, because I hate Nintendo.
Well, screw you. I'm a Nintendo fan, so we're going to talk about it.
All right, that's fine. I'll still talk about it.
So there's New Super Mario Bros. U is coming to the Switch.
Of course.
But they're going to add there's two new people coming to it. One of them's called Nabbit. One of its features, it doesn't take any damage. And the other one is Peachette, who can double jump, which I had not heard of Peachette before until I saw the announcement on Nintendo. No, it's a Toad version of Peach. Not
All
Toad.
right. That's way more entertaining to picture.
Yeah, it's like a Toadette but of Peach.
That's amazing. I'm looking this up right now.
Apparently, yeah, there's apparently a lot of people that are saying it's a big thing. They don't know who it is. Here, I'll link a quick thing in the chat there for you.
Wait, I thought she was called Toadette, not Peachette.
No, this is Peachette.
You gotta be wrong.
No, that's what it's saying here, and that's
Here.
what they say.
Here. This is...
So what's different though is it's the crown. By placing a golden crown on her head, Toadette can become Peach, or more specifically, Peachette.
Okay.
So you can see Peach is a little different there.
All right.
So sorry, I said that wrong when I was explaining it to you.
So that's... Et. Alright, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so sorry. That was my bad. I
Jeez,
apologize
Ben.
for messing that up on you. But a few other ones that are kind of interesting is they got Katamari, which is there's a 2004 remake of it, which is coming out, which Katamari is always a fantastic game, especially playing it with others. Have you guys played Katamari before?
Nope.
You basically are this small little creature that's pushing this ball around that collects things, and as it rolls around, it just keeps picking up bigger and bigger objects until it gets larger and larger and larger. So there will be times where you start out in a little house running around or rolling around, picking up objects that are small enough to attach onto the ball, like little thumbtacks or like other small objects around that size, and then as you get bigger and bigger, you'll start picking up like dominoes, and then eventually like forks and spoons, and then you could be picking up like plates, and then get your way to chairs and then tables, and eventually you'll get outside of the house, and then you're like rolling around picking up like bushes and then people and cars and houses and then skyscrapers, and you can just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it is one fast-paced action-packed game for that. So usually it doesn't let you start out that small and then go to get that big. It starts you at different stages. So it'll either be like in a house, or you'll start as like a larger in the house and then move your way into outside. But it is one crazy game. The multiplayer is kind of neat with it too, where from what I remember, I don't know if it's different with more recent versions of it, but basically you'd have two people playing, each person with their own controller, and you'd both be trying to direct it for the direction that it goes. So if like one person pushes like up and to the left and the other person pushes like backwards and to the left, then you'll just end up going sideways, and it gets a little chaotic, and it's a lot of fun.
This is called Katamari?
Yes, that's Katamari.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's, if you haven't checked it out before, that's something to take a look at.
I have seen the game before, but I've never played it.
So a couple others coming, ports that are coming. The City Skylines, which is going to come with a few of the content packs. There's also Civilization 6. There's going to be a bunch of Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy Maxima. Then there's going to be Final Fantasy, I believe, 7, 9, 10, 10-2, and then I think 12. But it's kind of weird that you get 7, 9, and then 10, but they're going to skip 8. So
That's because 8 was terrible.
Was it really?
Well, a lot of people love 8, but the story honestly just is not great if you look at it from an outside perspective.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to play many of those.
Yeah, it's decent until a certain part. And there's a lot of theories on 8 that would make the story a lot better if they were true, but they're not confirmed, so.
Oh, okay. And Pixel, you were saying something before Zio so rudely interrupted you. Not a single one? Oh, wow, that's kind of rare. You don't usually hear that. Well, then you know what you should get excited for. Do you have a Switch? Then you gotta get Crystal Chronicles when it comes out, because that is a great Final Fantasy game that's not a part of the universe at all, but it's great to play with friends.
Spen is super pumped about it.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be fantastic. Did we talk about that last podcast? Or did that happen? It came out, I think the information was released like shortly after last podcast.
Yeah, we talked about it after the podcast.
That's what it was. Oh, man. I love Crystal Chronicles. I can't get enough.
I am willing to give it another shot.
Well, you should. But the two most ports I'm most excited for is for the Switch. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we're getting Catan and Munchkin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do Munchkin. Catan seems more doable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the card game. No, it doesn't. It's a card game.
Well, you can get it with a board. Some versions of it do.
The original Munchkin is a card game. I don't know about anything about a board. Oh yeah, I do see a board. That's a different game. That's weird.
Okay, so I'm looking at it here. It says the dungeon crawler based on Steve Jackson's iconic card game. So I'm guessing it's going to be a short dungeon crawler, but you get to use all the weird, wacky cards.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting.
That's my guess. There's no info on it. I just remember hearing about the Munchkins. I thought it was going to be the card game. I'm glad I looked this up. And then oh, go for it.
I was going to say, I just looked up the Munchkin board game, and it's not actually a board game. There is a board you can buy that has little tokens that you can put in
move
rooms.
Around on like the levels and stuff.
But yeah,
like
they're
that,
supposed to be the levels.
Okay.
Okay. That makes
All right.
sense.
Well, I'll give you that one.
But
I think
either
there's
way,
a
I'd still
few...
be interested because I loved Munchkin. Sorry, go ahead. Talk
No,
about
that's
Catan
fine.
now.
No, Munchkin's awesome. It's a fantastic game. I don't think anybody can ever get enough of it. Except me and my sister, we don't get along very well while playing with it because we have discrepancies on the rules. Yeah, she doesn't like the idea of being able to cheat. She doesn't think you should be able to in Munchkin.
But that's partially what Munchkin's about.
I know. See, but if I'm playing Munchkin with her and I cheat, then I get caught, then I have to discard cards. And that's where the discrepancies start to come in, and that's where the fists become flying, and we haven't played Munchkin since last Christmas.
That's like saying you can't lie in BS.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. It's a touchy subject.
Oh, there is a
Munchkin's
board game
been banned
called Munchkin Panic, by the way.
Munchkin Panic.
Yes.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to look that up now too. But it looks like there's a few other ones coming as well. I think Pandemic and Carcassonne, or Sown, however that's pronounced. Those are going to be coming to the Switch as well.
I cannot believe Pandemic is still making rounds in games.
Well, it's a fairly popular game. I believe there's a few different versions of it as well.
I mean, I played the original Pandemic on when I was in high school on a Flash website that had cheap games. Like, that's when I played the original Pandemic, and then, like, a few years ago, I remember seeing it for the first time on a cell phone. I'm like, oh my god, it's on my phone, so I played it.
There's card and board games of it, too. Like, there was a board game version of Pandemic that I played in high school.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Well, it's, I don't know, we got it last year for Christmas from my parents. We haven't opened it up yet, sorry, parents. And, yeah, I think that maybe there's a smaller board game in it, but it is mostly consisting of cards. Tell you what, I will find out for you, and I will let you know.
Okay.
Because I could be wrong here, but it's a very small box. Unless it's like a plastic mat that we unfold instead. I don't know. But yeah, those are some of the interesting ports that are coming over to the Switch, and I'm excited for a good chunk of them.
I'm excited for like 2 of those.
only 2 of them.
Yeah.
Zio.
No.
Zio.
I will not get a Switch until Smash Bros. Comes out.
Oh, that's right. You were gonna get it for Smash Bros.
I'll get it for Smash Bros.
I remember you saying something about hating Nintendo before, and I don't remember why it was. I just remembered listening to it and being like, all right, I guess that's a valid argument, but also thinking it's stupid. So
that is pretty much my entire existence. That was my podcast, personally. Yeah.
Well, he brought it up a little bit during one of the podcasts, and then we talked about it like for 3 times the amount of that before the podcast as well.
Yep.
And I
just want people to know that Nintendo wronged me. And I will scream it from the rooftops until I am recognized by Nintendo.
Well,
I know they don't.
It's not that they don't care.
They don't care. They ignore 3 of my letters.
Did you send them 3 letters?
I've sent 3 letters about it.
What did you say in the letters?
I've had very strongly worded letters explaining how I should be able to choose my own name and how it wasn't even offensive. And then I went into the Urban Dictionary to explain what arjizzle meant. And
Oh, that's right, your name.
Yep.
But it's got jizz in it.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Assassin has ass in it. Doesn't mean that's going to be taken away. You could probably have assassin in your name. Jizzle is a real word too.
I know, but you got to think of it from the perspective that assassin's a word that's been around for a very long time. Your made up fake almost real word hasn't been around for a very long time. And if it has, it's one of those obscure ones that people just don't know about.
That's
and
not true. That's not true at all.
about
Everybody in the world knows
content.
about that, and that can be family-friendly content. I guarantee Jizzle is an ABC family. Not to mention, or not, maybe not Jizzle, but Izzle is an ABC family. Just because I have a J in my name that turns it into that doesn't make it unfamily friendly.
Well, I think the issue here is Zio doesn't believe he is in the wrong.
I'm not in the wrong.
There's
no part of me in the wrong. There's no part of me in the wrong. I'm not saying things to be offensive. I'm not trying to get a reaction. It is a silly name, and they're choosing to take 4 letters out of that name and calling it offensive.
See, this is where it's a tricky topic because there's a lot of times people say things that they don't mean to be offensive, but there's other people that take it as offensive, and that's what makes it offensive.
No, I have never met a single person who I've told my name is Arjizzle to been offended.
I'm not talking about just that situation. I'm talking about just scenarios in general. I could be having a normal conversation
I'm talking about
with Pixel,
very specific situation.
Maybe there's something that happened in her life while she was growing up that absolutely devastated her. And for me, I had a few situations similar to that, but they were things that worked out well for me. And I start talking about it, and then she gets really offended because of the stuff that happened in her life that was completely and totally devastating, that tore her family apart. Does that mean that it's totally fine for me to keep talking about it? In a sense, yeah, but at the same time, I've got to think about from her perspective and what she might find offensive from it, because I care about our friendship, and that's why I don't say it to her. And it's the same kind of perspective for your name here.
No, it's not. That's a completely different story. My name is not an experience that could have set somebody down a horrible path where they have to get years of therapy.
You don't know.
I know for a fact.
You don't.
I will bet $1,000 on it. If somebody can give me legitimate proof that they had therapy based off of Izzle being in a name, then I will accept that argument.
All right, I'm gonna here you go. I'm gonna send you a link, Zio, just privately to you. And there you go. There's my reason right there. Someone had a traumatic experience.
Nope, not the same. You're taking 4 letters out of the full context. This is proofreading. This is how fake news is created.
Yes.
I'm just saying. All the facts were not considered when reviewing my name.
I think enough of the facts were considered.
I don't think so.
Your name. It's just you're very sour about it.
You're just defending Nintendo because you're excited about Crystal Chronicles coming to the Switch. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I will hashtag Nintendo and I will let them know. You know what? I'm going to do a Let's Play of Nintendo's games, and I'm going to say nothing but Arjizzle and explain my story. They have to then review it, because they take down Nintendo videos.
Speaking of Nintendo, did you guys know that the game Moonlighter is actually coming to the Switch as well?
No.
And it's like this little shopkeeper RPG where you go into a little dungeon, you fight some different monsters so you can gather different item or like drops and stuff so you can craft them into items to sell them at your store, which is kind of a neat take on it. I think it's pretty cool. Just gonna. Oh, Zio. Here's a good one for you. There was something that happened in Spider-Man about a wedding. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
So there was, while Spider-Man was being made, there was someone who had tweeted at the company the Twitter for, I don't remember which Twitter handle it was they were tweeting at, but it was basically saying, "Hey, I want to propose to my wife or my girlfriend. Can you propose to his wife?" That would be silly. He wanted to propose to his girlfriend, so he asked them to put the proposal into the game. So there is, I believe, a movie theater that has "Will You Marry Me" coming across as the name of the movie. So there's a wedding proposal in Spider-Man, which you'd think would be awesome, except the proposal, it didn't work out.
That's funny.
So I don't know if it's still in there. There was talk about it being patched out, but I don't know if that was just rumors and speculation.
Should have just left it.
But yeah, someone asked for their wedding proposal to be in Spider-Man. Yeah, that's kind of sucks for him.
You know, it wouldn't have been awful if it said our jizzle. I don't think he would have had an awful experience. I am never past this.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So it says, "Maddie, will you marry me?" And that was back in 2018. The person tweeted to Insomniac Games, and Insomniac. There was a few back and forths, and then they ended up saying, "Well, okay then. Who are we to say no to love?" And then yeah, it was there. So yeah, it was the guy and his girlfriend broke up before the game's release.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's probably
otherwise it would have been another one of those great stories.
Reading it on Reddit or something, being like, wow, dodge that bullet.
I think the first time I heard about something like this was actually a proposal that happened in, I think it was Halo 2 or Halo 3, where someone had gone into one of the edit modes and just laid out a bunch of weapons that said, "Marry me," I believe. And
that's awesome. But
yeah, that one actually worked out.
The other side of that story is the girlfriend isn't a gamer, so she doesn't quite get it and thinks it's just cheap.
Well, no. The two of them played a lot of Halo.
Well, I kind of figured. I was just making a bad joke.
Oh, well, sorry for ruining that for you.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, like Punio.
See, it's catching on.
It is kind of. I'm starting to like it a little bit.
See, I told you. Like you said, it's like spicy food. You build up a tolerance and then a love. Or Stockholm Syndrome.
That's true. When you put it that way, I can't argue.
I'll take either.
I've got a couple topics here that I want to go to, but we'll wait till a little farther into the podcast. We're about, we're not doing too bad. We're almost halfway through. But, have you guys heard of Industries of Titan?
Nope.
So, this is an interesting game that, can you guys hear that in the background?
I heard something.
Cool, never mind then. You guys can't hear it. Yeah, so Industries of Titan. It is a game coming out that mixes a good chunk of FTL. You guys have heard of Faster Than Light?
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
This is why it would be nice if he gave us an outline of the podcast first, Spen.
Yeah, I might have to start doing that. I'm so used. There's so many people I talk with that it doesn't even think to me that people might not have hear of these games. So yes, I will start doing that so that we can have more exciting conversations about this.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about. Don't even worry about Industries of Titan. Then
I'm already watching a trailer. You might as well keep going.
So FTL is this. It's this kind of simulation strategy game where you are in a spaceship traveling across. You got to make your way across a few sections of the galaxy so you can get to the end and warn the human race of this impending doom or not the human race, of your faction, that this other faction's coming to destroy them. And so you have your ship, you have a certain amount of drives that you have to make before you run out of fuel, so you've got to start managing that, as well as each of the fights is a top-down view of your ship and a top-down view of their ship. And you have to send your crew members to different consoles so that they can man like the piloting or the guns or shields or different repair things, so that you can then launch your weapons over, and your weapons each have like cooldowns before they can fire again. And there's so many different mechanics and ways that you can fight back and forth, whether it's sending your own crew onto their ship to fight them, or trying to just disable their own life support so all their people die, or if it's just bombarding their ship until it is completely blown up and destroyed. So there's that kind of gameplay mixed with a city builder.
Yeah.
So Industries of Titan is I don't know too much about what happens with like the actual city building, but you are a company inside this large city that's slowly expanding and trying to grow itself. And while you're doing that, you also have to like build up your own ships, I believe, or a single ship, arm it with different weapons and rooms, and you kind of build it from scratch, designing all on like a grid-based layout. Oh, excuse me. The layout of the ship and how many crew you're going to have on it and how it's going to be able to react and interact with different things. And then then you'll have your ship, and there will be other moments where some other ship will come and attack you. I don't know if it's from another company or if it's some sort of impending alien attack that you're defending from. I'm not quite sure, but it also has that FTL type combat, which is a combination I haven't seen before, and I'm pumped for because I love those kinds of games. You got your strategy, you got your building, you've got your action-packed quick fights.
Yeah,
it's just a recipe for success.
I watched the teaser a couple of times, and I really like the art style. It's got a nice voxel art style, and the setting is a cyberpunk setting, which is really cool.
Yes.
Kinda, watching this teaser really gives me a feeling of Blade Runner, in a sense, of the style, and it looks great. Now, I'm not big into micromanaging or games like this, typically. However, I am easily sold on games like this because they make them look so good, and I will try this.
Nice. You're missing out.
And that logo. I love the game logo. It kind of gives me a the game BioShock feel.
Oh, okay.
You see it? You see it now.
Looking at it again, I kind of see that too.
That's a very, very nice logo. That's just my graphic design talking.
Yeah, there aren't many games that I'll buy when they first come out, but that is a game that I'm starting to lean towards.
Yeah. Ooh, you can build a mecha machine.
A what?
You can build a mech machine, I believe.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I don't know. This may not be confirmed, but when I looked up Industry of Titans, it shows like a mech being built in a factory.
Well, there better be that now. I want to build mechs and have them go and fight things too.
That'd be dope.
There's another interesting game that I saw a little while ago. Well, I just saw it a little bit today. Have you guys probably not heard of it because you guys are terrible human beings, and I don't send you any information. Semblance. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it though.
So Semblance is, yeah, it's got this really nice fluorescent like green and purple art style, or sorry, I should say palette that goes with the art style, where it's got it's very whimsical in nature, and it is a platformer, but a platformer where you bend and shape the platforms as you're going to make your way through the level. So you can find yourself heading up towards, there's a wall right up in front of you, and then one of those gaps, and then kind of a ceiling wall right above. So you've got to try and jump back and forth to get yourself higher and higher up to the platform up above. But to do that, you like charge yourself into the walls to make these like jagged little footholds for you, and you keep doing that back and forth to make it up to the top. In the trailer for it, there's a spot where there's this laser shooting, and I believe you're supposed to get it to point up to this specific spot. So you see the little blob of whatever it is, just like repeatedly smacking itself up at the platform above it, so that it starts to get this nice jagged, outstretched parts that it's smashing farther up, so that it can get the laser shooting the right way. And it's a take on platformers that I haven't seen before, and I'm not usually a big 2D platformer person, but this game,
that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask if you would even be interested, because you're not into 2D platformers. Are you going to get it because it's going to be on Switch?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then there's no reason why I wouldn't get it.
Oh, there you go.
Because the Switch is amazing, and so is Nintendo. And quick, Pixel, keep the conversation going before he can say anything.
What? The Switch is a good console. I'm not going to deny that. I'm
Pixel,
actually very proud of Nintendo for making the Switch. I was really worried they were going to do the Nintendo Wii U too.
Well, that's what a lot of people thought the Wii U was from the Wii, was just an add-on for it.
No, I agree, and I was really worried Nintendo was going to make the same dumb mistake. So when they came out with the Switch, I actually had hope for them.
Well, they did a fantastic job for it. I think one of the big issues too is if you look at the Wii's trailer, or like a reveal trailer, and then you also look at the Switch's reveal trailer, and then you look at the Wii U's reveal trailer, you can tell the difference immediately, where the Switch is exciting and fun for everybody, and the Wii is fun and exciting for everybody. And we just lost Pixel. But when you look at the Wii U, it just dies down.
Well, yeah,
it's not exciting. It's just kind of there and fun.
Also, nothing new. Like the Wii U gave you a little tablet that you could play on, but other than that, it didn't really expand upon anything.
Oh, welcome back.
And another thing you see if you watch those trailers side by side is that the Wii and the Wii U was catered to families. So the first Wii was innovative because it was the closest thing to VR or anything we could get at the time, and it was really interactive, and that made people excited, and it was new, it was refreshing. It was the first time it was seen, and that's why the Wii was popular. Now, the Wii U didn't do anything to expand upon that or really make anything better, and what they should have done is catered to third parties and actual gamers, their actual audience. And the Wii U failed miserably because they didn't, and if you look at the Switch, it is catered to gamers. That first trailer shows immediately, hey, we're about the gamers again. And that's why the Switch is successful.
Yes.
Nobody did. But that was the worst part.
I disagree.
I hate the tablet.
See, I would say the Wii U was amazing, and I mean, obviously not as great as the Wii and the Switch, but Nintendo Land is in my opinion, one of the greatest couch party games out there that you can play on any console.
I'm not saying it can't have a couple good games, but it doesn't make the console amazing. One game does not make a console amazing. The console itself has to be amazing.
Well, I thought there was a lot of games I had a bunch of fun playing because of the tablet. Like Nintendo Land, obviously, was one of them. There was Zombie U, which was a lot of fun with the tablet. Just because it added that there we go, Zio. There was I don't know if I could consider it a
I'm
horror game, but
I'm familiar with Zombie U, and it was a fascinating. But Zombie U just put the map on the tablet and your item inventory there. Like that's literally anything you can do with
to a point.
an
But I mean, there
actual
was
tablet. Like there are games that PlayStation, Xbox connected to a tablet with. Like uh, I'm so bad at remembering names, and I need them.
I know there were a couple of them that did that. I forgot about that.
But yeah, no, PlayStation, Xbox had games where you could use the tablet to interact with the game as well, and that completely eliminated the Wii U as a whole because you don't need to have this extra tablet just to enjoy the game experience. You just need to have something that can connect to the internet. Because I remember playing games and then having my cell phone as an accessory to do the exact same thing.
That is true. I didn't have any words to fight back against that.
The Wii U, they just wanted to have the success of the Wii again, and we're hoping people would just jump on the bandwagon. It was the same mistake that PlayStation made with the PS3 and that Xbox made with the PS1. They're just like, oh, we're a company everybody loves because of our last product was amazing, so they're gonna buy whatever we make.
See, I disagree. I think Nintendo was really trying hard to do something new and something exciting, and they did get something new, but they had a hard time showing us and proving to us that it was exciting. And I think that's the major issue with it. Well, plus they made it very difficult for indie developers, and that had a big backlash with it.
Well, they made it very difficult for any developers that weren't first party.
Yeah.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They did that with the Wii. They never did it with the GameCube. Had a lot of third party games.
Well, well, as far as I know as well, or as far as I can remember, the Nintendo always had. If you weren't first party, it was more on the more difficult side for sure, especially compared to any of the other three.
On the more difficult side, sure, but it was still manageable, and like Nintendo from the Wii to the Wii U completely phased out third-party games and alienated them, and that's why the consoles just slowly died. First-person exclusives are great, and Nintendo probably has the best first-person games, but it's still not enough to carry a console.
Yeah. No, you're right. There's just, I think the tough part for me is there's this, I still,
You're just a Nintendo fanboy, and you want to believe that Nintendo can't make mistakes.
Well, no, hey, I'm not going to say they can't make mistakes. It's hard for me to put into words just because I really loved the Wii U. Like, I had a lot of fun with it. And,
I'm not saying it's a horrible console.
No, I know. But there's just a lot of things where people bring up these arguments about it, and I'm like, oh shit, you're right, that's a valid thing. But even with that argument, I still enjoyed it, and I'm stuck in this this little crevice where it's like I want to love it, but I know that it was terrible in different ways.
I'm completely with you. I loved the PS3. It was probably the strongest. It was the most powerful console of its generation, but at the same time, Sony was arrogant when they made it. They made a ridiculously expensive console, and it was super hard for games to be ported over to it, and they killed themselves in that generation. They lost because of it. I mean, they just got arrogant. I think Nintendo got arrogant. And that's what the Wii U is.
See, I don't know if I would say that PlayStation got arrogant.
They did, because the PS2 is the best-selling console of all time.
Yeah, but they also, what made the PlayStation 3... part of what made it so expensive and gave them a bunch of issues they had was they threw in the Blu-ray player. And if you looked at the cost of an actual Blu-ray player that's the same quality as what was in the PS3, and you'd be spending almost $1,000. Like, it costs more money to buy a worse Blu-ray player than what was in the PS3 than to actually buy a PS3 when it came out.
That's not necessarily a great argument, because the PS2 did the same thing with DVD players.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh.
The PS2 did the exact same thing, but the cost was still dramatically lower. Like the cost of a PS2 at the time was like $300. And the reason the PS3 was so expensive is because it had backwards compatibility, not just to the PS2, but also to the PS1.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Oh,
And
wow.
the Blu-ray player didn't help because it was a brand new invention. And though just the hardware alone in the PS3 was so much, that's what made it ungodly expensive. But they were also arrogant. Again, they had to create a new hardware format to where games had to be reformatted specifically for the PS3.
Man, I gotta do more of my research on PlayStation now too.
I did a lot of research because I when I try to look into something that I want to purchase, I do a lot of research on it, and I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm getting.
No, that makes sense.
And so every console has had that moment where they're arrogant and they tend to make bad decisions because they think that, you know, because they were so popular at this point in the stage that they whatever they make people will buy because of that moment. Well, no, but I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it happened with all these consoles like immediately after immense success. So like, the PS2 is the highest selling console of all time. So they made the PS3, and they're like, oh, people will buy it because it has a PS2 in it still.
Well, I thought the PS2 was knocked off that.
Nope, it is still the highest selling console of all time. They literally stopped producing PS2s like a couple years ago.
Oh, I thought the DS had passed it, but it's close.
It's close.
Because the PlayStation 2...
Well, because the Switch kind of eliminates handhelds.
Well, don't they keep coming out with more of the DSs just because they're selling and they're still doing extremely well?
Partially, yeah. I mean, I don't think handhelds are necessarily going to die. Nintendo's always going to dominate that market because the other companies Microsoft doesn't even try, and Sony, anytime they do something new, they kind of only halfway dip their toes in it. They don't ever fully commit.
Well, wasn't there a rumor a while ago that Microsoft was coming out with its own handheld thing? That was like, I believe, before the 360 came out.
There might have been.
It was after the 360.
But a few years ago, they said that they're never going to get into it. And they don't really need to, honestly. Like, the direction they're going is, I think, very prominent right now is about sharing. So that's why they don't have Xbox exclusives anymore. It's all Microsoft exclusives because you want to be able to play between PC and Xbox at the same time. And they've definitely been pushing hard on the fact that, oh, we're willing to play with other consoles and Sony isn't. So I think that's the direction they're going to be pushing. With some games. Right, but
I think Rocket League was another one, wasn't it?
Rocket League is going to be the first game to be cross-platform on every console. Yes.
Yeah, because you can play that one with the PlayStation as well.
Yep, so you can play from PlayStation against Xbox against PC. I actually read an article about that a couple months ago. Yeah, no, it is. It's good for them. And ultimately, this is where gaming should be. It shouldn't be Xbox versus PlayStation versus Nintendo. It should be, hey, I just like this console because it's for me. But we can still play together.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I like the competition between them.
Oh, no, competition's great. I'm not saying that. But, like, you can still argue PlayStation and Xbox is better. But it's still, the whole point is I don't want to have to get an Xbox because all my friends have an Xbox. You know? I prefer PlayStation. I want to stay with PlayStation. But I want to be able to play with them.
I don't know. I mean, I get that point. But I mean, I don't know. I fully support PlayStation and their thing where it's like, no, if you want to play with you want to play with us? You got to get a PlayStation. I fully support that. I think that's a move that, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating from time to time, but I think it's something that's completely acceptable and completely okay.
Yeah. I think it was okay 3 years ago. I think in the direction we're moving, especially with digital games and people are buying less and less physical copies, I don't think that's a smart direction to go. But that's just me. No, I'm saying in the sense the world we live in, it's all like social media and everything. It's connecting us as a world, and I think that affects the point of view of how people perceive you. And so when you lock yourself in and be like, yeah, we're like a tight-knit club only, that's going to hurt their business. So, I mean, PlayStation's going to give in. They're going to do it eventually.
Maybe. I hope they hold out.
They won't.
I hope they will. Stay strong, PlayStation.
I mean, I love PlayStation as much, if not more, than the normal person. Like, I'm a huge Sony fanboy. They have the best exclusives ever, but I mean, I don't think it's a smart business move.
Nah.
Well, see, and that is why I think the competition is good. That is why I fully support separate consoles and stuff because of exclusives. That's what should be selling the console. But third-party games and all games that are on all platforms should be able to play together.
Oh, well, I hope you know in the future, future Spencer, if you're listening to this podcast and you're making a console, don't let the other consoles connect to it. Make them buy your console so they have to give you money.
Oh, it's not. Well, I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's how conceited I'm going to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, like, they can't have their own club and their own things. That's what makes the console significant for them. Like, but that's what it should be. It shouldn't be like, if you're on Fortnite on the Xbox, I should be able to play with you on PlayStation. It's a third-party game. They should be able to control. They're the ones who do control if we can play together or not. And they should be able to make that decision, not the consoles. I think the console should just be a platform of what you play on. Just like you have a Sony TV or a Samsung TV. Samsung has their own things that make it better. Like, they kind of polish their colors to make them more vibrant so people buy those TVs. But Sony relies on hardware. It's a preference of what you prefer to watch on, as opposed to you can only watch this on a Sony TV. You can only watch this on a Samsung TV. You can watch anything on both TVs, but they each have their own little things that you like about them.
That's a fair point, but I still want them to be exclusive.
Well, then that's why you don't think about it. If you buy a TV, you find the things you like, you know?
Oh, when I bought a TV, I just went with, all right, this is how much I can spend. What thing is closest to this? And then I bought it.
That's a terrible idea. That's how you buy bad TVs.
Oh, it worked out great for me. I love my TV.
Until you put it next to a better TV.
No, well, see that I'm not going to buy two TVs. You know, that would defeat the purpose of buying a single TV. There's no need for me to have two of them.
Sure. I have a lot of TVs, I guess.
So there's a lot of stuff going around right now about types of gamers, and more specifically, comparing the percentages of what kind of gamers buy physical copies and what kind of gamers buy digital copies. And there is a site that went through and broke down a bunch of the percentages. I've got the site here somewhere. Never mind. I don't remember what the site is.
No, I'm very interested in where you're going.
But I have all of the information here typed out, so that's not what's important.
Okay.
So, Can you guess some of the reasons why gamers still like to buy physical copies?
For looks. They want to have a shelf where they can point at and be like, this is my collection.
That is actually the number one reason, which came in. They polled, I believe it was a little over 5,000 people, so not a huge number of people, typically for polls like this. But yeah, 32% of them said owning a collection was the reason why they still buy physical copies.
No, that's not true. People buy physical books because they like the smell of paper and how paper feels in their hand.
See, but
Nobody goes to a library to smell a book. The point is the experience you get while reading the book in your own home.
Zio, we don't shun others for having different opinions, all right? There's nothing wrong with Pixel believing what she does.
I just disagree. I'm not shunning her.
It didn't sound like you disagreed. It sounded like she was wrong and you were right.
Well, I mean, that's probably the case, but I mean that's not true. Not true. Just 95%.
Can you guys guess any of the other reasons why someone would want to buy a physical copy over a digital? That was not on the list.
Okay. My turn.
Sorry.
Physical to loan to friends.
Yes. That came in at, where is it here? To play in different locations or lend was under the same thing for 17%.
Is that number 2 or 3?
That was number 3.
Number 2 then would be, my guess would be resellability. Oh, sorry. You can have that one, Pixel.
No, it's not resellability. That one's on there, but that one is down at, I believe that was a pretty low percentage.
I figured it would be. A lot of gamers.
Giving as a gift was at 13% of people said that. So that was down at tied at number kind of 4 and 5 position. Selling it when done was 12%.
So you get another guess, Pixel, because that was mine.
Actually, yes. That would discounts in store. That came in at 18%.
Is that number?
And I'm no mathematician, and anyone listening along that's been counting these numbers, they're going to start to be like, wait a minute, these percentages aren't adding up properly. And I don't know how they managed to do this, but reading through the articles and the stuff they've done, they've got some weird wonky percentages, so I'm guessing people were able to vote for multiple categories.
Yeah.
So,
was that number 2?
Yeah, so owning a collection was 32%. Yeah. The next one was discount in store, which you guys got. There was play in different locations or lend, which you guys got for 17%. And then there's costs less to buy physical, which was 13%, as well as ability to give to others was 13%. And selling it when done was 12%. A few other of the reasons were people wanted physical copies because of the memory that digital ones can take up on their consoles. Another one was proximity to shops. Poor internet speed came in with 7% of people, as well as limited internet access, which I think is kind of the same thing as poor internet. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones, like no... But some people, like 3% said they didn't have a credit card or PayPal, so that's why they didn't do digital. 4% said they don't like inputting personal information online because the government's there to steal all the information. So those tin hat wearing people voted 4% of them. I think this was survey in person. I think they were actually in the stores doing this. I think so. I mean, it could have been online as well.
I would imagine.
But yeah, if you added up all the percentages together, 160% of gamers prefer buying games physically instead of digitally, which is just a lot of people. Yep, that's what all the percentages added up. Yep, that is correct.
So all the people who bought physical copies prefer physical copies. Weird.
Yep. They also had another section.
Yep.
Yeah. They also had another section where the reasons that gamers prefer to buy digital copies. Can you guys guess some of the top reasons for that?
Um. Uh.
Convenience. I don't believe that was a category. Oh, you know what? We'll put that in as don't want to leave home at 11%.
My guess would also be the portability, and not necessarily like physical portability, but you can sign in anywhere on any.
Yeah, so you can have it where you go, which was the top reason, number 4 at 16%. That one came on as the very last one with 6% for online extras.
For I honestly don't know.
Well, the number one reason was reasons people bought the game digitally is because it was cheaper to buy digital.
Not always, but sometimes.
Well, there's a lot of online stores that have ridiculous sales. Like Humble has a whole bunch of them. I think like any game you go to buy, I'm pretty sure it's cheaper by a couple bucks on Humble. Just because. But I mean, I also have the monthly subscription for their Humble bundle, so that might be why. Because I get 10% off of everything I buy in their store, which easily adds up the difference. Especially when you spend like $20 for a subscription, and I get usually a bundle that if I bought everything individually is anywhere from like $150 to $350. So, Humble Bundle's amazing. Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, Humble. Sponsor us. We need money. Notice game.
It was a mix of all.
Yeah,
there are a few select games that you can still buy, but it's usually like bigger companies like Blizzard.
Yeah, it's like AAA titles.
Yeah, anything from the big guys. Then yeah, that's pretty much all online.
But no, I'm actually probably a very new transition from physical to digital. I used to be hardcore physical copies only because I like to look at my collection. What made me start going digital was actually PlayStation. Because you can do that whole game share with friends. So me and my buddy, we actually have each other's PlayStation set as our primaries. So every game he buys, I get to play for free, and every game I buy, he gets to play for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so that kind of transitioned me from buying physical copies to digital, and then naturally, since I got my PC last year, I've gotten a lot more digital copies on my PC.
You didn't really have a choice.
Right. But, I mean, I see the benefit of both, and part of me still wishes I could have a lot of physical copies. And ultimately, it's not necessarily about having a disc. I just want a case.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Like, I want to have a shelf where I can put my cases on. Like, these are the games I've played. These are what I'm proud of. You know?
No, I 100% agree.
Yep. Xbox One Xbox One did that for almost every single one of their games at the beginning of their console generation. Because when they were like only online games, like that was their big push, and then everyone hated them for that, which is funny because now everyone's doing digital now anyways.
Yep. Well, I mean, when I buy like PC games, I don't buy anything physical anymore. If I see a physical copy of a PC game, I won't worry about it. I'll always buy it online. But console games, I don't remember the last console game I bought that was digital, except for the Switch. That one's a little different. I buy most of my Switch games just because the Switch is portable and I don't want to carry all the games around with me.
Right.
But with like the Xbox or like my Xbox One or my PlayStation 4, I've bought them all physical. Just because it's, like you said, it's nice to have that case to hold. It's kind of like it's something that like it helps stroke my own ego.
It's like
being
a
able
trophy.
to look up at the shelf and see all of those games.
Yeah, it's like a trophy. It's like, this is my collection. It also shows like your personality as a gamer. So like if you invite other gamers, one of the first things they do is they always go to your shelf and they look at your games. Like, what kind of games does this guy play? You know?
Yeah. Although sometimes you'll have an issue where anytime someone comes to look at my display of games, they're going to ask Spencer, why do you have 2 copies of The Last of Us for the PS4? And it's because I forgot that I bought it, and so I bought it again.
That's all right. I have 2 copies of a Realm Reborn. I have 3 copies of Battlefield 4. I have 2 copies of The Last
Nice.
of Us as well.
I did the same thing with Hardline. Battlefield Hardline, I had 2 copies of that. Well, it's just one of those things where you go into the discount bin and you're like, $5. Ah, it sounds awesome. And then you realize, oh, I already had it.
My situation is slightly different. I don't forget what games I have, but I tend to I bought the Realm Reborn the first time, and I couldn't return it after 30 days or something like that. Or no, after you open it for the first time, you can't return them. My digital code didn't work, so I had to buy another one.
Ooh. That sucks.
And then for Battlefield 4 was actually, I bought it and then a friend bought it for me at the exact same time.
Nice.
So I had multiple copies.
See, and I don't know what it is, but one of my absolute favorite things to do is I'll save up money and then I'll just go into EB Games, into their discount bin, and I'll buy 20 really cheap games. Because it's just so satisfying sitting on my couch, watching something on TV, and just peeling off all the stickers. It's like I don't know what it is.
I actually don't buy used games for that reason. I hate the stickers.
I don't know what it. I love it. I have my ritual of how I peel it off and how I stick them all together, and it's. I don't know what it is. I just.
And this is how a serial murder is created.
Well, I did have one other thing I wanted to quickly touch on before we. No.
Podcast took a dark turn.
But I had one other topic here that I wanted to jump on before we end the one here. This one's specialized for Zeo, so sorry, Pixel, if you feel left out on this.
Special.
But Mashables did a list. You know, they love their top 10 lists. And they have the top 10 most dateable men in video games ranked. And I thought Zeo would love to go through this.
I absolutely would love to go through this.
I had a feeling you would.
I do.
Do you have any guesses on which characters? Also, Pixel, feel free to chime in as well.
In history, of all video games ever?
These are, I believe, they've just gone with the top most dateable men in video games, and they've ranked it.
Damn.
Looking at the list, it's mostly newer, but there is one that is fairly old.
Now, when you say newer, you mean the last 10 years newer?
I'm gonna
5
say.
years?
I don't remember when one of these games came out.
All right, how about?
I'm gonna say, for the most part, I'm gonna give you 80% are within the last 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, one of them has to be Nathan Drake.
I don't believe Nathan Drake is on
That
this.
is
He has
bullshit.
not made this
This
list.
is the worst list ever. Nathan Drake is so charismatic.
Well, he has not made this list. Do you have any other guesses?
I'm just mind blown. I can't even imagine what else could be on this list if not Nathan Drake. Is one of them?
How about
one of them better not be Kratos?
One of them. Actually, yes, one of them is Kratos.
That doesn't make any sense. He's like the worst dateable person ever. He freaking kills his wife and daughter.
So the reason why he has been picked is no one wears war paint like this god himself.
So they're going by sexiest, not dateable.
So the reason here is they're saying that the 2018 revival. So they're saying the 2018 revival can't be redeemed for the atrocities he's committed in the past, but the capacity for growth he demonstrates throughout the game is admirable. Also, he's a man. It says also he's a man who loves a strong woman committed to doing right by her memory, wishes love and the child they bore together.
Bullshit.
Also, have you seen those back muscles? Boy.
That's the only real reason.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a hint for a couple other ones. One of these guys has to do with sand.
Sand? Oh, Prince of Persia.
Yeah, there you go. He came in at number 10. That's what they have for that. One of these guys... we'll go to number 9. Number 9 next. He's known as one of history's greatest womanizers. He's been in several games. And he always wears a hood over his head.
Always wears a what?
A hood over his head. He is.
Is it Ezio?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sense.
You guys. Oh. All right. So number 8. This character is from a trilogy that takes place in space.
Is it the guy Isaac?
No. So this space trilogy had a fourth game, but wasn't a part of the trilogy.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I didn't play them.
Oh. All right. Well, this one was Garrus. Garrus Vakarian.
Isn't he a alien?
Zio, you can't. That's racist. They're just saying that he just deserves love.
Oh, fuck that shit. They would swipe left on Tinder. They would swipe left on Tinder.
He's one of the... So he's... So what they're saying here is well, first of all, he was one of the romantic partners in the Mass Effect series. It's saying here that fans fell hard for him, which they did. Anybody who'd played Mass Effect instantly would have been able to guess him, so you guys didn't play it, so that's why you weren't able to. Yeah, it's not really giving a huge reason as to why.
This is already the worst list, and
that's okay.
It's not great. Very disappointed.
Well, I'm sorry, Zio. Number 7 here. Oh man, I don't know how to do this one without giving it completely away. You know what? I'll just do it this way. This guy was in a relationship with a girl who had twins with his arch nemesis. Zio knows what I'm talking about. Zio knows what I'm talking about. This person had a relationship with the lady, who one of his arch nemesis had twins with that lady.
Don't want to say it. This isn't even a video game.
It's Peter Parker from Marvel's Spider-Man. He is number 7 for one of the most dateables. Last podcast, I found out that was Zio's least favorite thing about Spider-Man.
It is.
Yeah.
It was bullshit. It is a terrible list.
Don't worry, it's going to get better for me, not for you.
Granted.
Number 6.
Granted.
This
Peter
is
Parker
actually a game.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Which one?
I'll accept the Peter Parker one.
All right. So this next one actually comes from a game that Pixel had mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. There are many different characters in this fighting battle game that you can. Oh yeah.
I also didn't listen to Pixel, and
But
never
this
do.
one,
So
there was a lot of hate towards him at the beginning due to hitboxes. Nope. Yeah.
Winston.
The hitbox is specifically for one of.
I want it
his
to be
weapons.
Winston. Because he has a big heart.
He has a lot of tattoos. Doesn't wear a shirt. That doesn't really help narrow it down. There you go. Yeah. So Hanzo. But. See, but right here,
That's
the
racist,
raw
Pixel.
sexual energy of Hanzo needs little explanation. Oh my god, I'm loving this list more and more just because of how riled up you guys are getting. So number 5 is... I don't actually know this guy. I haven't played this game. It is a rather recent Assassin's Creed game that came out. There's a character inside it. No. More recent.
It's from Odyssey?
From Origins.
Oh.
Yeah, neither have I.
That,
Did you play Origins?
No.
Oh, so it's Bayek of Siwa? I probably pronounced that incorrectly. Yeah. Well, and then you guys got number 4, Kratos.
Yay.
This one is a game that, Zio, you're always telling me... This is number 3. You're always telling me I need to play more of this because I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, The Last of Us. Joel?
Yep.
Really?
He came in as number 3.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, but okay.
They say he's not a good dude on the surface.
He's not a good dude at all.
Because it looks like he selflessly protects Ellie, but by the end... I have to skip over that. I haven't beat the game. It was about to give me some spoilers.
Yeah, don't finish that.
Alright. So this one, for number 2, there's a remake coming out soon. Or not a remake, sorry. Sorry, it's not a remake. Let me start over again. So, I believe it's the prequel for this game set in the Wild West.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption, the dude. I don't know. His son? No, it's a prequel. I don't know.
No, so well, I'm not talking about the prequel. I'm just saying this game has a prequel that's coming out.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's John Marston from Red Dead Redemption.
This list needs to be changed from dateable to fuckable.
That's pretty much how they've... Tell you what, if you guys put together your own list, I will guess the characters off of it for next podcast.
Let's do it, Pixel.
All right, so number 1... shoot, I haven't played this game either. So it's from one of the Telltale games.
Lee from the first Walking Dead.
Yeah, there you go.
Ha. He's literally the only honorable character in that entire...
So yeah, he was their number 1 most dateable guy.
That makes sense.
I mean, I wouldn't say the list is bad. I would say it's
No,
definitely got its issues.
I'm saying the list is bad because it's deceiving in its title. Those aren't dateable characters. Those are characters you would swipe right on and go to Pound Town with.
Yeah, John Marston, you wouldn't really... I don't know how dating would work with him. I don't really know much about the others. Yeah, plus you can't really... Yeah. Plus, and there's Spider-Man. You can't trust Spider-Man. He's like the worst hero of all time.
He's the best hero of all time. I will hunt your ass down. That's not true.
He saved a few that haven't died.
Yeah, and
he
only
didn't
one of
date
them.
them.
Only one of them dies in an alternate universe. Okay.
Well, that is all the time we have for this podcast.
Next week, I'm gonna have this list for you.
All right, I'm looking forward to next week's podcast. By the sounds of it, then Pixel, you're on the podcast next week, so thank you for joining us next week as well. Well, with that, good night, everybody.
Night. Wait, does it have to be guys? Can it be girls? I mean, this is 2018. We shouldn't just seclude girls.
No, it can be guys and gals. We'll call it glials.
Or just how about the most dateable people in video games?
Oh, are you talking about the list?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it can be the most dateable people in video games.
All right. Nathan Drake
Okay.
will be on that list.
All
The
right,
real
I'm
question
gonna
is-
write that one down.
Yep.
So I
That's-
get one question
That's
right.
one free answer you get.
Nathan Drake. If I forget Nathan Drake, there will be other issues.
So
So
well.
and yeah, I would have ended the podcast.
Oh my God, your name would be Spunny if you put pun and your name together.